He's wearing the same shirt he wore in the end of last week's vlog. Well, like Lizzie McGuire, I am an outfit repeater. Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today is the beginning of another reading vlog. Since last we spoke, did I read The Wedding Group by Elizabeth Taylor like I said I would? No. Did I do any reading of Streets of Laredo like I thought I might? No. Did I do any writing? No. Did I get some more planning done? Yes. Research? Yes. Saturday evening, watched Doctor Who as I said I would. Despite what other people seem to be claiming about this series, I really enjoyed it and it reminded me of what I used to like to do. I feel sorry for Charlie of Charlie Brooke Reads, who got to listen to me theorising. Well, she got me reading a ton of theories from me. It was like being teenage Charlie again and theorising with his other friends about what certain things mean in a show. I enjoyed it, but then I've always been one of these people who regularly sees this as a show that gets reset all the time, and I go and watch different Doctors from the last 60 years when I'm looking for a certain type of thing. So watching of John Pertwee at the moment is because I have a hankering for a style that's similar to the detective shows of the time, and it feels almost like the Avengers meets Doctor Who, as in the Avengers with John Steed, not with Captain America throwing a bloody shield. This just felt like a different incarnation, a different type of show, and I was here for it. I look forward to seeing what happens to it and to seeing whether anything that I thought on Saturday is what's going on, or whether I'm just completely on the wrong track with things. Yes, Sunday. What happened yesterday? I practiced Italian in the morning. I edited the video because despite however many times I say that throughout the week I'm going to edit the vlog as I go, I failed to do it. And my research at the moment is just trying to figure out this character's name, because she's shouting at me that she wants this name and we keep going over things. I even got Charlie involved yesterday and this character wants a name. She hasn't yet revealed what it is. She just keeps telling me about her history, but that's where we are. Hopefully over the next week I can get some more reading done, some more writing done. I do have some time off, but that could all change depending on what's said in the meeting that I'm attending this morning. If they need me to be in at a certain point to attend another meeting, then I might have to do that. Of course I'll get the holiday day back, but it's just that sort of thing. Enjoyed Doctor Who. Watched another classic Doctor Who yesterday whilst I practiced Italian, which was The Claws of Axos, and I wasn't too fond of the portrayal of Jo Grant in these episodes. It felt like they just had her around to scream the Doctor's name every now and then, and it took away some of that where we'd got to see her actually having some sort of dramatic role in there. Like she pulled a gun on someone in the last serial and was really working hard, and I liked the way she was portrayed there. Just to go back to screaming the Doctor's name and being a bit simpering, I didn't like, and I don't like the way that whoever wrote this wrote her. Hopefully the next serial changes that, which I believe is Colony in Space, maybe? I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, that's me today. I'll probably see you Wednesday, if not tomorrow. Wednesday afternoon, but we're closer to the evening, and I have just got out of the bath, dried off, sorted my hair, and now I'm here. Tuesday ended up being a really productive day, but to go back to Monday, I told you all about starting this new role at work, being a staff representative. It was just an introduction to what this role's going to entail, and I have another meeting next Monday about that. But I'm currently kind of on holiday from work. It's one of those things where I forget that I have the time off, and so I still go through the first 3 days, like Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, before I be due back in on the Friday, feeling like I have so much to get done before being back in work. So I have yet to get to the point where I feel like I can calm down and relax. Tuesday ended up being a really productive day in terms of this new book that it's completely surreal to think that 2 weeks ago I had absolutely no idea that I would be working on this book. I had no idea that this book existed within my mind. I've looked up whether other books of this kind exist already, and naturally they do, but I still want to write it, so I'm still focusing on that. And I've been chatting to Charlie for quite a few days because I've been struggling to figure out one character's name, and I've been going over Old English and I've been looking at names, and that's been all of my research has been looking into certain types of characters from fiction over the last 1,000 years. I've even been going into the etymology of words again, which is great for me. It's one of my favourite parts about doing English language at high school, was looking at the etymology of words and seeing how words have changed over time. Language is like one of the things that I really enjoy, so it makes sense to me. And this morning I told Charlie a name idea I'd had. Charlie's been really kind as well, and she's been going on websites and she's been looking stuff up, and she sent me the links this morning, and then whilst we were chatting I had this idea, I wrote it down, I asked her, and we both agreed. So now I have the character name that I've been trying to figure out for over a week. But yesterday I was working on something that I'd planned. It boggles my mind that this project has appeared out of nowhere, because I believed that I would either be going directly into writing another cozy crime novel or working on the charity shop novel. So the fact that this book appeared shocks me. And I know that it was inspired by seeing mushrooms coming out of trees. I know that, and that's what I can tell you. But everything else, this whole world that appeared in my head, completely shocked that it's there. We also did a different walk than usual yesterday in the forest. I just decided that I was going to go up this lay-by because I've done the same walk over the last few weeks, and that's the walk that inspired this story. And I thought, let's do another lengthy one. And I haven't done this walk for a while. My sister first introduced me to it maybe just over a year ago. And we don't like part of it because it does involve going along a road. And so I was going to do it in the reverse direction, so it feels like you're spending less time on the road. But I didn't end up doing that because when I reached the top, it was incredibly boggy because of the rain. And I think that if I do want to do that in future, I'll do it on a nicer day than it was yesterday. But I was really pleased because I got to have the entire walk to myself. I didn't see anybody for the 2 hours that I was wandering around the forest. And I know some people like seeing others on their walk. I know that people are more sociable than I am, but getting to wander around the forest and not seeing another soul and feeling like it was just me and Sal, and there was just something really nice about that. Even if there were parts where I was thinking, oh my goodness, if I slip and fell, there's nobody around to find me. Then today I went and parked in the same location, and it's the same beginning of the walk, but then you can veer off elsewhere, and there's this old abandoned building there, and I chose to go over and read the little picture they've got out the front. I don't know, walking near that abandoned house today, don't know what it was about it, but it felt rather eerie and left me feeling rather uneasy as well. And I can't explain that. I've got a picture from this blog, and you can see me go through the window, and that inside has been overtaken by the wildlife. There was something about that I really liked. And I don't know whether it's because I was thinking about a specific part of this book that I've got planned, and I was beginning to equate this place with that within the book. But then I went walking and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm all on my own here. But I like being on my own until I started feeling unease. So we carried on this walk to see where we came to. And it's a walk that I want my sister to do with me, because I'm pretty sure she'll be able to navigate and figure out where we're going to go from that. But I came to a gate, and well, at first Sally decided we were going up a hill, but then she turned back, so I turned back. But I came to this gate and I thought, I know I've been told where this walk goes because a colleague has previously done this walk, but I wasn't prepared to take this risk without properly knowing where it will bring me out. But I know that she has previously started at Teg's Nose, done this walk, come down there, walked up towards Forest Chapel, and then gone back across towards the Standing Stone car park. I know that she's done that. I just didn't want to do that. I think for me it's just the idea, I just don't like walking on roads. That's it for me. I like walking along the forest path, so whenever it comes to the point that I've got to walk on a main road, I don't want to do it. But it was a nice, it was nice to see a different part of the forest than usual. I did finally get some reading done of The Wedding Group by Elizabeth Taylor, and I've not been able to record a review today because I've not finished a book in 10 days, and it's starting to get to me that I'm not reading at the moment. And Charlie was telling me off this morning saying we did say we were going to take it easy on ourselves this year, and obviously if this has taken over my life, then maybe I should just let it and go with it and write the darn thing. Maybe one day I'm going to release a book and that's just going to be the title, and that's what it's going to say for 100,000 words, write the darn thing, because I say it all the time. I feel like reading fuels the writing, and I sometimes I just need to finish reading a book. So I'm hopefully going to finish reading The Wedding Group today. I am leading a writing workshop tomorrow. I've got a poetry event in the evening, and it's my sister's 30th birthday, and we've just agreed to go and do something in the morning. For now, I need to record the coming Friday's video, which I've realised now whenever I've been doing my looking back videos, I seem to wear this t-shirt. It's just become the universal uniform for this type of episode. Before my brother and my dad get back, I best get that recorded. It's Friday and I still haven't finished reading a book this week. I had hoped to finish reading The Wedding Group by Elizabeth Taylor. This means that for now, nearly 2 weeks in a row, I haven't actually finished reading a book. I have 30 pages left of this one. This is unprecedented for me. Charlie tells me not to go so hard on myself because that energy is going into getting this writing done, and now that I've figured out the name of the character that I was struggling over, I've got another 2 names and I'm going to be using them for specific characters, and I don't know whether they're their names yet, but as soon as one of the names came in my head, I got this image in my mind of a specific character. I was like, yeah, that's you, that's the name, so maybe it's going to stick. On Wednesday night, I ended up driving to work to do some printing off for a writing workshop yesterday that I was holding for our writers group, and it was all about nature writing. I think some great pieces of writing came out of that, but someone did get in touch with me and say, why was it so subdued yesterday? And honestly, I don't know, maybe people just don't like the way I do writing workshops. I don't know, I think maybe that's just not my forte. Maybe nothing's my forte. Maybe I'm just like this person who tries their hand at things and it doesn't work out in their favour. I don't know. I got soaking wet because it was pouring down with rain yesterday and I had to walk into town, then walk back And usually I get a lift from my mother, but she was taking my nan out and she went out for lunch with my sister to celebrate my sister's 30th birthday, who was here in the morning. So we did gift exchange. Well, I don't know why it's called, I'm calling it exchange. There was no exchange of gifts. I gave her gifts. And then we went for a walk around the reservoir in the forest because we only had time for a short walk before I headed off for the writers group. In the evening, it was Poetry Pandemonium at Mash Guru in Macclesfield, hosted by Mark Rawlins, with guest poets Leon the Pig Farmer and Kool-Aid Wood. Theirs is slam poetry or performance poetry, which isn't the genre of poetry of which I am working upon. I am equally impressed by people who are able to get up and memorise their stuff. Sometimes I can remember parts of my poetry. I would not be the type of person to get up there without a book in hand or without something that I could look at to remember the words, should I. And that's just something from other occasions where poets have talked to me about performing poetry before. But that didn't finish till 11, and when I got home I just wanted to get a brew and go to bed, so that's what I did. Today I have been waiting for my sister to come here because I said I was going to take her pottery painting for her birthday. She didn't know that we had to be there by 1, and so this morning I didn't know that Drag Race All Stars 9 was going to be online today. I didn't know it was going to be 2 episodes, so that's what I watched until 11 o'clock. Then I went for a shower. Then I contacted my sister. We've just arranged to go on a walk, so she'll be here in about half an hour. In lieu of going to pottery, we're going to do that next week instead. And so I have been reading. I now have 30 pages left of The Wedding Group by Elizabeth Taylor. As much as I enjoy the way that Elizabeth Taylor has crafted the characters within this book, it isn't one of my favourites, and that's the problem with me being so heavily focused on writing at the moment and this new project that is still percolating and still appearing at all instances. And so because that's taken over my mind, I find that I don't seem to have the wherewithal and the want to be reading, and it's really taking me an effort to want to pick up books. And that's just a mood, I think. You know, I often talk about being a mood reader, but I keep also thinking about wanting to get books read, because I do have this aim to reduce my unread books on my shelves, and I had so many books that I wanted to read this month, and I wanted to get that alternative women's prize project finished this month as well. And also, being off work until next Friday, I had such great plans to actually get a lot of reading done, and that hasn't happened. But also maybe I work on getting a lot of writing done instead, and it's a weird one. Still, like, I know I've been talking about this for a week now, but I'm just completely shocked that this project that wasn't even a thing a fortnight ago is just coming at me from all angles. That is all I can report today. Hopefully finish reading The Wedding Group by tomorrow. And I've already fallen back on one of my rules for this whole year of, like, not buying new books and not borrowing books, because my friend Joy loaned me Simon Armitage's new book yesterday, and I couldn't say no to that. That's the first time, you know, I've gone 6 months without doing this, and it's hopefully going to be a quick read, and I'll be giving it back to her next week. And maybe it'll be just the thing that I need to add a book to my read books and all that, but it's a funny old time. It's Saturday, I'm off work. I just finished watching Doctor Who and practicing my Italian, so I thought that I would come here and round off this week's video with incredibly dishevelled hair. Yesterday I finished reading The Wedding Group by Elizabeth Taylor, and I'm glad to do so. If this turns out to be one of the only 3 books that I've read this month and I don't read any more, then I'm happy to have continued with my task of reading one Elizabeth Taylor book every month until I have finished reading this author's work. This was not one of my favourites. I think that Elizabeth Taylor is still showing her accomplishment as a writer with this book. I don't know whether it's the mood that I've been in, where I just wanted to be writing as opposed to reading, so I've been in a different sort of mood, that when I was reading this, it left me feeling a certain type of way. or because of the story that was being told. I struggle with any story in which there is a really domineering patriarch, and that is what we got here with the character of Harry Breton. And although this was very much his granddaughter's story of Cressy, who decided to leave this commune he created where he controls his daughters and his son-in-laws, he chose their partners for them. He's really tried to sculpt their lives and have ultimate control over everything, and Cressy gets away from that. And there are some great characters in here. There are some great elements when it comes to dialogue, and some characters that have been captured perfectly through their dialogue and through their words, and Taylor did a fantastic job with them. But overall, I didn't much care for the tale, and it's split into two parts. But I think that was to allow a bit of a time jump, and the plot really seems a bit nonsensical, and I just didn't particularly care for this one. It was another portrayal of loneliness from the author, but I think that she did it much better with The Soul of Kindness. I told you about a book that Joy lent me, and I said I wasn't borrowing any books. Well, this took me 10 minutes to read, and that is Blossomise by Simon Armitage. There aren't many poems in this collection. There is a lot of artwork that was done by Angela Harding, very great artwork, and as a gift for somebody who likes poetry, then I think that this would be fantastic. But poetry-wise, I didn't really think that there was much substance here. It was written to celebrate spring blossom. I did not think that this had the depth that his other collections have had, which makes sense because there aren't too many poems here. It's nice, it captures spring, it mentions a few things that we associate with spring throughout Britain, but it's very surface level and is more of a gift for the friend of yours who likes poetry than a very serious collection, I would say. So having finished those two books this morning, I brought The Wind in the Willows downstairs. I don't know whether I'm going to get any reading done today. Within the next hour and a half, I have plans to take Sally out for a walk down the towpath. Yesterday, after I spoke to you, my sister turned up and we went on a rather long walk around Mac Forest, the one that I have been doing recently that I told you inspired the latest writing project. And then we came home and I promptly banged her in the head with the car boot. So she's not the best pleased with me because she is going out tonight to celebrate her 30th birthday, which happened on Thursday. As I say, watched Doctor Who earlier, and so far, I think, is it my favourite episode of the series? It might be. It was decidedly tense and had allegory that I don't feel like it was whacking you over the head with a few of the things from the series arc just planted here and there. So I think it did the job that it's supposed to. I've also fallen into a trap of continually watching clips from Xena Warrior Princess. I used to watch that show. For me, Saturday nights went Hercules Legendary Journeys, Xena Warrior Princess and Charmed. And they were things that I watched, my granddad watched, and my cousin watched. Xena Warrior Princess, my goodness. I still haven't watched that show the entire way through, and I'm sure I will one day. There was a lot about mythology when I was younger. I think that most children of the 90s remember Hercules, the Disney film, and I think that set us on a path of Greek myths and everything. And then obviously Percy Jackson came around in about 2004, 2005. I can remember it because the librarian at high school got it in especially for me because she knew that I liked magical tales. She didn't know that I didn't like first-person narrators, so I just ignored it for years. And then the books became popular and everyone was talking about them on BookTube. And so I read those 5 books, but I read them post the Kane Chronicles. I still prefer the Kane Chronicles. Egyptian mythology and brothers and sisters, and I just really liked that. And that's all I've got to talk about this week. Didn't really achieved much by way of reading, but it's been an alright week. So there we go. If you would like to discuss anything that I've talked about in this video, then please feel free to do so in the comments. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, because until next time, that is all.